Hello and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Guys, I gotta tell you, guys and gals, okay? I don't want to leave anybody out. This situation in sports where Caitlin Clark is concerned is getting increasingly pathetic. And I'm talking about Shaquille O'Neal right now. Caitlin Clark, the attention she gets, the Caitlin Clark effect, the success she's had, the way that she has been a rising tide lifting all boats has caused people to absolutely lose it in terms of what athletics are supposed to be about. I just cannot wrap my brain around it. And Shaquille O'Neal, someone who dominated in the NBA, who won multiple championships, who played with Kobe Bryant, for crying out loud, has also seemed to lose it where Caitlin Clark is concerned. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Now, I bring up Kobe Bryant because I was a huge Lakers fan. Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality, I just can't imagine that he would have been doing and saying and responding to Caitlin Clark in a way that I see happening right now. And maybe that's not fair to say because Kobe's not here to speak for himself. But just having watched his career from the time he was 17 years old, the way that he played, the competitiveness he had, his inability to stomach people who came into the preseason out of shape, like Shaquille O'Neal did, which was a huge part of why they butt heads so much. I just can't imagine that he would be doing what Shaq is doing and what so many others are doing. So what am I talking about? Let me just show you this right now. Shaq did an interview with TMZ. And as you can see here at the bottom of this video, it says WNBA's breakout season with Clark and Reese. So I'm just going to go up here because look at the headline for this article on Women's Fast Break at si.com. It says Shaquille O'Neal sends 7-word verdict on Caitlin Clark's Time Athlete of the Year win. And this was January 2nd article by Grant Young. And it's obviously noteworthy how he handled a question about Caitlin Clark, because in this headline, it says, points out, he sends a 7-word verdict. So that's saying a whole lot by not saying a whole lot right there about him not saying a whole lot. And let's take a look here at just a portion of this interview.
Because I'm sure you've experienced this, but even in our own office, people have been talking, not just talking, but vigorously debating things in the WNBA, a league that's been around for
25 years.
25, and now finally it is picked up, and it is due in large part to Caitlin Clark's fame. What do you say about her being the Athlete of the Year?
Congratulations to her. She's a fabulous player. Caitlin, my girl Angel, definitely brought a lot of publicity to the WNBA, but we can't forget all the other WNBA greats, Asia, Sabrina, Teresi, all the women that's playing great. They're finally getting the credit that they deserve. Play much harder than the men, play better than the men. That's a beautiful game to watch.
Really?
You saw what he did, right? What do you think, Shaq, of Caitlin Clark being Time Athlete of the Year? 7-word response was included that congratulations, she's a fabulous player. Whatever it was exactly his 7 words. And then he went right into Caitlin Clark, my girl Angel Reese. They've done a whole lot to bring publicity, but you can't forget the other ones, Diana Taurasi, Asia Will, etc. Shaquille O'Neal, one of the greats in NBA, you were asked a question about Caitlin Clark being athlete of the year. Are you going to tell me that you are so under the thumb of Angel Reese and Asia Wilson and Diana Taurasi and whoever else is out there, and their feelings being hurt if they don't get mentioned, so you think that you have to just rush by the question about Caitlin Clark so that you can make sure that you mention everybody else? It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment for Shaquille O'Neal. I don't care if Angel Reese is your friend or not. Angel Reese doesn't need you to mention her when asked about Caitlin Clark. And then you give her some bogus 7-word congratulations thing and then move on to other people and then you veer all into lowering the rim and all that other stuff, which I'm not going to get into, but it's so ridiculous. It's so pathetic. It's so embarrassing. And I have to say this, and this is why I say, so you think they want to hear you mention them when they're asking about Caitlin Clark. I don't know what they want. I'm sure Shaquille O'Neal thinks he's doing what he has to do. It's so pathetic, but he feels like he's got to do it because you can't talk about the one who won the award. He seems to me like Sheila Johnson. He might as well have gone on and said what Sheila Johnson said, which was, why not put everybody on the cover? That's what Sheila Johnson said of the Washington Mystics. Shaquille O'Neal didn't say that, but his answer said that. When asked about Caitlin Clark, you got to mention a bunch of other people. Why? And why I call this pathetic, it's embarrassing for Shaq, but it's embarrassing, period. Because every player, every ball player wants to stand on their own merit. I mean, they should. I mean, it's hard. I say that now, but it's hard to say with this league and all the stuff about, don't forget about us. So, but generally speaking, true athletes, they don't want what he just did. They don't want you throwing them a bone. They want to compete. They want to work hard. They want to win these things themselves. They don't want you to just be throwing the sympathy nod out there. It's just not what people want. And I guess you think you're doing a good thing, feeling like you got to hold it down for the people who came before, hold it down for Angel Reese. But you're really embarrassing them as far as I can see. Just talk about Caitlin Clark when you're asked about Caitlin Clark and stop throwing the pity. Everybody can tell it's pity and it's pathetic and it's so unnecessary. It's just getting so embarrassing. Anyway, as I was thinking about what Shaq did there, my mind went back to 2001. That's a long way back. In the tennis world, the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena Williams, faced each other in the U.S. Open. And I remember this because it was first time on prime time, and you got these two sisters. It was historic. I also remember because it was 2001, Saturday, and just a few days later, 3 days later, in fact, that Tuesday was 9/11. I remember that. They were playing at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens. Just historic. And then 3 days later, we had the horrible tragedy there in New York City. But you got two sisters, and this is a Grand Slam final. And Venus Williams beats her sister. Venus is the older sister. Serena was 19. So Venus was 21 maybe? And because Venus is the older sister and she loves her sister so much, when it was time for her to give her victory speech, she just had such a hard time. And let's just take a look at what she said, clearly how she was feeling, and then what her little sister, Serena Williams' response was to Venus.
Well, tell me this. How special was this whole occasion, playing your sister in Arthur Ashe Stadium in this special night event?
You know, there's some good things and some bad things. I always want Serena to win, and so it's kind of strange because I'm the big sister. I take care of Serena. I make sure she has everything, even if I don't have anything. And
so you picked on little sister, right?
I love her, and I just it's hard because it's hard, but I love her too much, and you know that's what counts.
I remember this moment so well. I remember the emotion of it, and I loved the Williams sisters, but I always had an extra love for Venus Williams because Serena was relentless. She didn't care if you were a sister. I mean, she wanted to win, and Venus, being the older sister, she just took care of her sister, loved her sister, wanted her sister to win all the time. But now they're facing each other. So in that moment, she's just like, I love my sister so much. So it's so hard because I always want her to win and all that. And you saw Serena there. Serena is like, stop, right? She's just, and Venus is like, I just love her so much. And this is what I'm talking about with the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, at her moment, the WNBA, and now Shaquille O'Neal wants to deflect to everyone else. Serena was saying, it's your moment. You don't have to talk. Stop talking about me. It's your moment. Enjoy your moment. And though this is different from the WNBA and how they're acting and the whole Shaquille O'Neal, it's still the same concept. We want people in their moment to talk about other people. And every real athlete like Serena Williams is like, stop. They should be. Stop. You deserve this moment. You deserve to be celebrated, and you deserve to be happy for your accomplishment. Is that gone? Now, at least where Caitlin Clark is concerned, everybody feels like they've got to talk about her, and they want her to feel the same way, that you have got to acknowledge every person, the other person, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson, Diana. We forget what the question was. The question was, what do you think about Caitlin Clark being Time Athlete of the Year? And you got all this other stuff to say. And athletes have got to start saying, stop it. Because it's embarrassing. Number one. Number two, it's your moment. But when I look at a Shaquille O'Neal, he's doing it too. I just shake my head and like, what is going on? It's wild. And I say enough. And I can only hope that season 2, Caitlin's season 2, when she is balling out even more, I'm just hoping we will not continue down this road. I hope somebody can answer a question when Caitlin wins another award and they don't have to name off every player in the league, past, present, and future. But right now, I ain't so sure. Man, somebody needs to send that video of Venus and Serena all over the place. Stop. What do you think? Put your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please, you hear me going like this? Because this is not the way sports, this is not what I recall. Yes, you're gracious in winning, but you don't act like you got to mention. Anyway, I ain't going to say it all over again. I said it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Also, hit the like button, like, and share. And I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.